Hello, Scorpio. Elsie here to do a bonus read for you. Happy birthday, friends. How you doing? Welcome to Scorpio season. I'm here to give you a bonus read. I'm going to read for the current or the future energy, Scorpio, and I plan to leave whatever's back there. So if you're interested in that, then you've come to the right place. Scorpio, don't forget there are a couple of sales on right now. Pre-recorded readings are 10% off. And please look in the pinned comment for the code for your 10% off. And also live readings are available between 5 and 75% off. Let's find out what's going on for you, Scorpio, in this bonus read. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Scorpio, we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse, friend. It looks like there is something here that you're finally releasing yourself from, a mental prison of sorts. It feels like you've come to a realization of something. We do have the King of Pentacles. It could be something that has to do with money. Maybe you're releasing yourself from a financial obligation, or you're releasing yourself from feeling tied down to having to support someone, give them money, time, effort, or energy. And we have the 5 of Swords. I feel like this was a really hard decision for you, Scorpio. The 5 of Swords indicates that there was arguments or fight over possibly finances, property, could be in your job. We do have the King of Pentacles here. It could be that you have had words with your boss. It feels like a difference of opinion, or that we're not on the same page when it comes to something. It feels like you are relieving yourself or releasing yourself from any sort of solid, grounded obligation that you possibly had talked yourself into. It feels like I want to say that you're a very loyal one. All the fixed signs are, and I mean people in general can be loyal. Doesn't have to have anything to do with your sign. But I'm just going to say with Taurus being here with the King of Pentacles, I'm going to say that the reason that you haven't released this sooner or let it go sooner is because of your loyalty to someone, something, a job, whatever it is. Tell me what this is here. You had some sort of a realization. I feel like once you finally got out of your head, once you finally realized that you had trapped yourself in the mind, you had taken away all of your ability to be flexible mentally. This is something that had you stuck financially, or stuck to a job or an obligation or something you felt like you needed to be loyal to. It feels like the sun comes out and shows you all of the details. It feels like there's some sort of a breakthrough, that you realize you'd be a lot happier if you didn't have this obligation that it feels like somebody's badgering you into it. I feel like the 5 of Swords and the 8 of Swords in the reverse is like somebody here has an opinion, right? The 2 swords are up in the air here. Somebody here has an opinion, and it feels like it's opposite to yours. And I feel like because you're loyal and you said, well, yeah, I said that I would pay that bill for you, or I said that I would lead the project for you. It feels like you're right. I gave you my word. It feels like a loyalty issue. But I think that when the sun comes out, it actually puts you in this place of the 8 of Swords in the reverse, where you've decided, you know what? I no longer want to be trapped in this agreement. I don't want to be trapped in the contract. I don't want to be trapped in this place where I said yes, I would do it in terms of loyalty, but it feels like it's time for you to fight back, or to say, you know what? I've reviewed this again with the sun in the air here. I've reviewed this again, and I've realized that unless you're going to meet me where I'm at, I can't do this for you anymore. It feels like with the King and the Queen of Pentacles here, it feels like there's 2 people who own a business. Maybe it's a business partner, but it's 2 people who really do mirror each other. It feels like 2 people who have built financial independence or have built material wealth. This could be a business partner. This could be someone that you work with. This could be somebody who's in the same business that you're in. I feel like there is an agreement between you and somebody else, and this person and you have been arguing over the details of this agreement for a while. I feel like you were stuck in a financial obligation possibly, but when the sun comes up, it feels like you have a breakthrough that pulls you out of this place of mental entrapment, it feels like. Tell me more. Got the 5 of Wands, yeah. I want to say that if this is a business thing for you, Scorpio, it feels like you have a business idea that might be a conflict of interest, or the person who is your business partner might want to go off and do something that might create conflict of interest. It feels like there is something here that has to do with the Pentacle world. Money, property, business. I work with you. We run a business together. A light has gone off here. It's a realization that somebody here that you've been working with, who you have an agreement with, that this is not working anymore, that we now have fundamental differences, and now I'm in this place of arguing with myself because I see it. It feels like you did it out of loyalty for this person. I could be talking about a family member. It feels like you did it out of loyalty, but with the sun here, it feels like you've realized that it kept you stuck in this place mentally where you were unable to move forward here. And I feel as though this decision that you're making here, Scorpio, is going to put you in direct competition with the very person that you had made the agreement with, the contract with. It feels like we're now going to be opposing forces and going to be in competition with each other and our bright ideas. Tell me why the King of Pentacles is here. We've got the Six of Pentacles, we've got the Page of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords. It really does feel like somebody here is making one of the hardest decisions of their life. Somebody's making a really hard decision to achieve more than I have been achieving from here. I feel like someone here is this is someone that maybe you've mentored, or someone who has mentored you. It does feel like there's a reason that we're at the same level in life, the King and the Queen of Pentacles. It feels like we're at the same level in life because we helped get each other there. The Six of Pentacles tells me that this person probably could have been someone who offered you something, or maybe you offered them something. It does feel like somebody has been, I want to say that maybe you've been feeding the business money, or you have been the one who comes up with all of the ideas. It feels like somebody here with the Page of Pentacles has decided they want to materialize something on their own, have a new beginning, and make a breakaway. I don't want to be stuck to this any longer, but it's going to take a decision. A really tough decision, because when the Two of Swords shows up, it's like I'm going to cut one thing out in favor of another. And so with the 5 and the 2 here, 7 swords, I feel like you're far too loyal a person, whether you're feminine or masculine, that I feel like you are someone who is so loyal, even though you know that somebody is lying or deceiving you. And this could be the reason, this could be what the sun is showing up with the two and the 5, that somebody here is lying or deceiving you financially, and maybe you've caught on. Tell me about the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. It feels like there's about to be an argument that breaks out about property, something that we own, something that we've been doing together. It could be a marriage. It could be a relationship. It could be long-term, because the King and the Queen of Pentacles are here. Feels like it's a long-term something or other. We've got the Star energy. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, and we have the 7 of Wands. It feels like we can no longer go any further from here. There is nothing in the future. Somebody was hopeful that I wasn't going to figure out that you were lying and deceiving. Somebody was trying to keep it under the surface. When the Wheel of Fortune shows up, it's because something is stuck. There's a cog in the wheel. Something is interrupted. It feels like there's no way that we can move forward. There's no way forward from here. So the 7 of Wands, it tells me someone here has decided to take decisive action. In order to have some sort of a victory, I've got to do it on my own. It feels like somebody here has been trying to heal or hide or be hopeful that you, Scorpio, were not going to come to the decision of this because they had hidden it from you. It feels like somebody here was keeping something under the surface. Tell me what this is. Tell me why the 7 of Swords is here. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. We've got the 7 of Swords. Look, I called it out here. The 2 and the 5 is 7, and then the 7 of Swords shows up. Somebody here is being very deceptive about some sort of a foundation that we've been building. And it feels like I feel like you're the brains of the outfit, Scorpio. So whether this is a relationship or this is a business or you're working for somebody else, it feels like the 5 and the 3 of Pentacles is 8. It feels like you're the one with the details. You're the one with the funding. You're the one with the person who is holding everything down, paying the mortgage, buying the groceries. It feels like you're the one who's been holding everything down. And it feels like that somebody has been hoping that you wouldn't catch on, that there is something going on under the surface. They're hoping that you wouldn't see that you've reached the glass ceiling, or that there's no way to move forward here. I feel like this person is somebody who is not flexible. They're very inflexible, but it also feels like that this is someone that you have built a foundation with. So tell me why the sun is here. I want to see what this is here. It feels like there's going to be an argument or a fight that comes out into the light between you and the Queen of Pentacles, or maybe you're the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is who you're arguing with. Take your side, masculine or feminine. Tell me about this sun. Tell me what the sun is bringing out here. Tell me about the sun. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the King of Wands, and we have the World card. Someone here has not been thinking with their heart. They've been thinking with their passion. And I feel like it's going to bring everything to a screeching halt. It does feel like, Scorpio, that there is a chapter that needs to close here, because someone here, you can no longer count on them. And the Queen and the King of Pentacles are earth energy. They move slow, they're dependable, they're loyal, we're very planned, we know what we're doing, we've got all the analytics, we've looked over the details. I feel like somebody here has begun to make decisions that are in their own best interest. It feels like with this Aries energy, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to go get it. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. I feel like you can no longer count on someone to be in their Pentacle energy. Now someone is in their Wands energy. Somebody is taking risks. And the Queen of Cups is here. I feel like what you're seeing with the sun, the breakthrough is, it feels like somebody here is out of balance. It feels like, while you've been kind and compassionate and loving with this person, I feel like this person has been spending too much money, making bad business decisions, doing things that are against the project that you're on. Whatever the decision is, it could be a relationship. It feels like something has come to a realization that you can no longer ignore it. You've got to argue it. It feels like you know that you're going to have to argue it, and I feel like it's going to bring everything to a screeching halt. Tell me about the 5 of Wands. It feels like there's all of a sudden there's competition here. And whilst one of you is somebody who is trying to be very emotionally kind, compassionate, I think that's you, because the Queen of Cups is here. The other person is taking risks with your money, or your time, or your efforts, your energies, your relationship. They're following their passions while you are continuing to be in this energy of loyalty, moving slowly. But there's about to be an argument, and it feels like it's an argument about competition, or something that they didn't think that you saw going on. We've got the 8 of Wands, we've got the Hermit energy, and the King of Swords. So I feel like something is coming really quickly here. It does feel like it's in the future. It could be in the next 8 weeks or so. But I feel like right now, Scorpio, that you are under the surface thinking about this. How do I deal with it? How do I deal with it before I have to actually swing this sword of truth and make a decision that's going to be permanent? Because when the fixed signs, Aquarius, when the fixed signs make a decision, they don't go back. Taurus, Aquarius, right? It does feel like you need to make a decision, but it feels like you are thinking about something under the surface at this time, trying to get the details, trying to find your light, and honestly, trying to find the way that you can do this in the most compassionate way, even though this person, I feel, is not taking your feelings into consideration. I feel like somebody here doesn't care if this comes to a screeching halt, but I feel like you're the one who's doing it in compassion, kindness, and care. I feel like tell me what has come to the surface here with the sun. It's a realization with the 8 of Swords in the reverse and the sun here. What's the realization? The realization is the Knight of Swords. It is the 6 of Wands and the Hanged Man. That I need to get a better perspective about what's going on here, because things are being done under the surface. When the Six of Wands is in the upright, it's about having the spotlight. Everybody can see you. Everybody's cheering you on. But for me, when it's in the reverse, it's like under the surface ego. Somebody here is making quick moves, making deals in the dark, making deals under the surface. And I don't know what the situation is here, but, take it as it resonates. It's a general reading. It feels like that there is, with the Hanged Man energy, the sun has come out, you know the information. Now you've got to make a decision to swing the sword, but first you're going to get perspective in Hermit energy. It feels like this is coming at you pretty quickly. You know it's going to cause an all-out battle. You know that the Five of Wands is here, and you've been fighting with yourself about what to do financially, to the house, to the material wealth, to whatever it is that we're talking about that is in the Pentacle world. You have to make a decision about what to do, because there is somebody here who I feel is lying about the solid foundation that we've been building. Actually, this person is so far disconnected from, it feels like they're like, you'll go and one day the bank account will be empty, or something here is going to fall so completely into lack that you took your eye off of and didn't know was going on. Somebody's trying to get away with something, Scorpio. That's what it feels like here. And the Three of Pentacles tells me that they wanted you to think that this was a solid foundation, but I don't think that it is. So I feel like the King of Swords energy is you. I feel like we have the Hermit here for a reason. You go into Hermit energy to lick your wounds a little bit, figure out what's going on, and I think you make an 8-week plan. I feel like this Eight of Wands here tells me that when it hits, it will be swift. Eight of Wands and the King of Swords. It will be swift. I feel like you have caught on, that you are making decisions now that no longer are decisions that are either with your spouse, the person you're dating, the person you own the house with, maybe the person you're working with, or your business person. I feel like you're now making decisions that the King of Swords would make that are honest and truthful and righteous. I feel like we're going to go with the details. I'm going to go with the financials. It feels like somebody here is making a very honest and truthful decision. The Hermit's got all the details here. I think there's something you've been thinking about under the surface. Tell me what the outcome is here. What happens? Because you know that we're at the end of the line here. We've got the World card and the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse. We're at the end of the line. I've got to put up my boundaries here to protect myself. We've got the Hierophant, we've got the Temperance card, and we've got the Knight of Wands. You've got to do the right thing. You've got to do the right thing, the honorable thing. You've got to stay on the path, be traditional. It feels like you've got to bring things back into balance here. But look, the Knight of Wands is here. You got to do it hardcore. You got to be brave, and you got to swing the sword. The King of Swords is here. The Ace of Swords shows up. So truth must be exacted here. It feels like I've got to bring everything to the surface, which is going to cause a battle. The Five of Swords is here. The Five of Wands is here. We have the Five of Pentacles here. Something is about to change pretty quickly because the Eight of Wands is here. And it feels like you're going to try and do things the best way you know how. But truthfully, something has to be cut out and the facts need to come to the surface. So somebody here, whether this is a relationship or a business that you own, maybe it's your business partner I'm talking about, or maybe this is a marriage we're talking about. It feels like somebody has realized that someone else is acting in their own interest, in their own passions underneath the surface. And with the World card here, this is something that we need to close the door on before it gets away on us. And I feel like you're going to be bringing that up pretty soon, possibly in the next 8 weeks or so. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for being here and watching. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I am always back. Happy birthday, friends. I'm out. Bye-bye.